Hi there yogis, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So sorry again that there's been a little bit of a delay in between posting videos. So I'm still very much immersed in that project that I was speaking about last time, which I still can't reveal, but hopefully we'll be able to soon. But I thought I've got a bit of time today. It's Sunday afternoon, and I thought it would be nice to just do a little bit of a video for some simple stretches that you can do either today if you've got time to do these today, this afternoon or this evening, or you can just keep it for in the week when you've got a little bit more time. So it'll just be quite a short, simple video, just some of the stretches that I'd like to do on the weekends, just to kind of keep the body kind of nice and stretched, nice and flexible, and then as always trying to get that mindfulness of the breath back. So if you want to begin in Shavasana, so corpse pose, so you're going to come to lie down on your mat. So if I show you the options of what you can do, so you can either just come down to a lying down position, you've got your legs out, stretched ahead, head down to the mat, slightly drawing chin to chest, and then palms of the hands facing up. So this doesn't always suit everybody's spine, particularly if you have got lordosis of the lower back. So if that feels a bit yucky in the sort of tailbone area, lower back area, you can either nice and carefully bend the knees in, take them wide, and then knock the knees together. Alternatively, you can bring soles of the feet together and come into reclining goddess, and then you can place the hands to the belly if you find that comfortable, or just palms facing up. Okay, so you've got those choices. Use anything to make this more comfortable for you. So if you want to use blanket, if you want to use a rolled up yoga mat under the back of the knees or something under the head, you make it as comfortable as you would like to. Okay, then when you're ready, you're going to close the eyes. And just starting to withdraw your awareness, your attention inwards. This is one of the most important parts of yoga, is this bit here at the beginning where we start to turn our attention, our focus, our mindset from the busyness, the distractions of the external world. And we start to retreat inwards, and we start to look after and take care of our mind, our body, our breath, the general well-being of ourselves. So this process of turning inwards, of withdrawing inwards, in yoga is called pratyahara. It's one of the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga. The other 2 limbs that we're looking at today are asana, which is the physical posture, and then pranayama, which is the freeing of the breath. So now once you've turned your mind inwards, you start to pay attention to your breath, to the quality of your breathing. So just noticing as you're lying here if the breath is getting stuck or caught anywhere. If you're breathing nice and fully, or maybe you're just breathing into the top of the chest. Becoming aware of what's going on through the muscles. So are you gripping or holding the body in place? Or are you allowing the back line of your body to just soften into the mat beneath you? Bringing some awareness to the muscles of the face. So can you relax around the jaw, and can you smooth out that space across the forehead? So relaxing any frowns, relaxing behind the eyes. And we'll start now to really consciously deepen and lengthen the breath. So I want you to breathe in all the way down into your belly. So actually feel the belly expand on the inhalations. Feel the rib cage widening and the chest broadening. And as you exhale, just completely letting go of that breath. And then taking a nice long, deep breath in. Maybe catching that little pause between the breaths, and then nice long exhale out. And maybe seeing if you can, if it's comfortable for you to do so, start to bring in that ujjayi breath, so the breath of sound. So we constrict the back of the throat as we breathe in and out, and we start to make that rasping ocean sound with our breath. And as you breathe, you can think breathing in relaxation, breathing out tension, breathing in positivity, breathing out negativity. So we'll take just a few more breaths in this way. And just noticing how the mind has begun to calm down, it's begun to settle through this process. How eventually that deeper breathing starts to feel more and more natural, which of course it is. We are designed to breathe in this way. It's just that modern busy life gets in the way. So we'll take one more breath, and then we'll take a big exhale out the mouth. And just start to wiggle through your fingers, wiggle through your toes, opening the eyes nice and gently. So from your Shavasana pose, from your corpse pose, however you had your legs, you're just going to start to bend them in. And then start to draw them in towards you. So just taking hold of the tops of the shins if you can reach. Just gently drawing the legs in towards you. So nothing too strong today. Shoulders are soft, and then you can, if it feels okay, in the lower back, just a little bit of rocking from side to side. Okay, so we're going to place the feet to the mat about hip width apart, taking the hands a little bit away from the body, just so you've got room for your legs. And then we're going to knock the knees over to the left as you turn and look to your right. So just beginning to feel in to the lower back, to the hips. Notice if you're gripping your shoulders in place, can you soften those? And then if you'd like a stronger stretch, you can bring this bottom left leg up and over onto the top of the right thigh. Just be careful not to put any pressure onto the knee. And then you can apply that pressure to that right leg, and you'll feel that stretch all the way up the right hand side of the body, all the way into the right armpit. So continue with your ujjayi breath here. Notice how as soon as you place your body in a position, the breath just goes. So that mindfulness really needs to come back in. Breathing nice and deeply. Lovely. And then take that leg off. We're going to bring the knees through centre. We're going to take them over to the other side. And feeling into the two sides of the body, noticing any differences. And if it feels comfortable, again, you can pick up the right leg this time over the top of the left and draw the legs down. Keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. And nice deep breaths. Really focus your breath on the whole left side of your body. From that left hip all the way up into the left armpit. You can feel that in that kind of serratus anterior part in here. Maybe stretching out through those intercostal muscles. Lovely, and then release and bring your legs back. Okay, from here we're going to take the hands onto the tops of the knees and we're going to circle the knees out. So just going a few times one direction and a few times in the other, starting to mobilise through the hip joints. Lovely. And then it's up to you. You can either bring your hands to the back of the thighs, rock and roll yourself up, or you can roll to the side. If you've got low blood pressure, go to your left, otherwise roll to your right. Okay, so we're coming up into a seated position and we're going to take a yin pose called butterfly. So bring the soles of your feet together. So normally when we're in this shape, we're doing these poses at the end of a class and we're working quite deeply into the inner thigh, the adductor muscles, and we scoop the feet in quite close and we sit forward. So this time we're making it more chilled and making it more of a yin posture, so the legs go further away. And you can use anything to make this more comfortable. You might want to bring like a bed pillow. If I show you actually, if I grab my big pillow, you can place a pillow between the legs and you could rest your forearms onto that. You could grab a block or a separate cushion and place that underneath the forehead and bring your arms out in front or rest them here, whatever feels nice for you. So we're just starting to get a stretch being created through the inner thighs. You might feel it into the hip, the glute as well, but nothing too strong. So I'm going to hold this shape. Try and keep shoulders down the back of the heart relaxed, closing the eyes so that you can continue that journey inwards. And then once again, let's focus on our breath. So Ujjayi breaths. So you're just allowing your body to melt into this shape. Try and become aware of any resistance to the pose. Also becoming aware of the sensations through the body, so where you're feeling the stretch. There shouldn't be any pain or discomfort, so that isn't something that we breathe through in yoga. So pain is telling us that there's something not right with the posture that we need to change. Okay, so that's just nice if you're starting out in yoga to know that we never breathe through pain. So particularly we look out for niggles in the knees, niggles in the lower back or the spine. Okay, and if you've got sort of problems with the joints, you might also find that there's discomfort in the ankle bones, sometimes in positions like this, so you could place like a blanket underneath the feet and support yourself. What we do breathe through, or breathe into rather, is the stretch. So there should be a balance between ease and effort. So take a few more breaths. Last breath in, and again let's take an exhale out the mouth. And slowly start to bring yourself up. Okay, from here, just bringing the old props off to the side somewhere. And we're going to come into, the legs are staying pretty much the same. We're going to come into turtle pose and try and stretch out the space between the shoulder blades. So from here, if you can, we're going to slide the hands underneath the legs and take hold of the feet. Start to bring your head down and then puff out the back body so you can breathe between the shoulder blades. So if you can't get your hands underneath here, just rest them on top as you did before, but start to focus on rounding out the upper back. Shoulders are still down though, so we're rounding the spine, but we're not hunching into the shoulders. Okay, so there's a difference. So shoulders down, neck is still long, but you're just starting to create that space. What we're trying to stretch here is those rhomboid muscles. The muscles between the shoulder blades, they run off the spine. And for most people, this is where all of our knots occur in the space between the shoulder blades. So I'd also like you to focus your breath there. So as you breathe, can you breathe into the back? We're going to take 2 more breaths. And start to lift the face, start to bring yourself up. So from here, we're going to bring our feet now into what's called Sukhasana, easy seat, cross-legged. Okay, if you can't sit cross-legged, it's not for everybody. Sometimes it can be knee stuff, hip stuff. So you can do the stretch that we're going to do with your legs out long if you prefer. So please take that if it feels easier for you. So we're going to slightly adapt it from Sukhasana by bringing the feet a little bit further away and then flexing the toes. Okay, so your feet flexing back are kind of like your indicators for the knees. So as you come forward, if there's any pain or discomfort in the knees, just soften your toes. Okay. If you're happy to flex them, if it feels okay, we'll be able to work a little bit more into the hip by doing that. So from here, just going to start to take the hands forward and then going forward as far as feels okay for you. So stretching the spine long, and then you bringing your head down to look down towards the mat. We're going to hold here and breathe into the hips, into the spine. And if you prefer, if you want a little bit more support, you can place your block underneath the forehead, or you can bring your cushion back. Okay, so sometimes with gentle poses, it's kind of tempting, or it's a habit that creeps in when we go a little bit dead in the pose. So we kind of find the shape, and it's not, super intense, and we kind of switch off. The mind starts to wander to other things, maybe what you've got to do this afternoon. So it's really important to not go dead in a posture. So even if it's a simpler pose, I'd like you to really focus on your breath. So where could you send your breath to? So maybe really breathing between the vertebrae and the spine, feeling the length that happens as you do that. And as you exhale, can you concentrate on drawing the rib cage down a little bit further, or maybe pressing the sit bones back behind you. So you want to feel that with every breath, there is movement happening, even if it doesn't look like there is. Okay, so you're not just here and then thinking about other stuff. So remembering that yoga is always that practice for the mind. First and foremost, the body, what we do with the body is just a way of bringing the mind under control. So 2 more breaths. And then slowly start to bring yourself back up. So hands are going to walk a little bit back behind you. You're going to press into the fingertips and then just inhale, lift up through your chest. Maybe taking the gaze up to the ceiling if it's okay in the neck. Nice big breath in. And then exhale, return your head back to centre. Walk the hands back in. We're going to rock back and change the legs. So now you've got your other leg out in front. We've still got them shuffled a little bit away, and we're going to flex the toes again. So this usually, because we never cross our legs this way, we tend to cross them the same way each time. You might find as you come forward that this feels a little bit more restricted on that hip. So don't feel that you've got to force the body to match that side. Okay, just work with it nice and gently. So again, fingertips are coming forward, and then you're walking forward into where that stretch feels good for you. So remembering we're looking for that balance between ease and effort. Tipping the head down, maybe closing the eyes to draw your mind inwards. And then again, let's become really present to the breath and to the sensations in the body. Maybe melting the forearms down as I'm doing here. to give it a little bit more softness. And again, you can bring a block underneath the forehead if you prefer. Scanning the body for where those sensations are in the pose, and then can you breathe into those pockets of tension. And the exhales are really a release of that tension. 2 more breaths. And slowly start to bring yourself back up. So again, we're going to bring the hands behind, we're going to press to the fingertips, and without overextending your lower back, so pull in through a little bit through the belly, and then open up through the heart. Nice big breath into the chest, and then exhale back. Good. We're going to come into now some seated cat-cow stretches, so just bring yourself back to Sukhasana, easy seat. Remembering, if you want your legs out in front, you can do cat-cow with your legs out in front, that's fine. So you're going to bring the hands onto the front of the knees, and as you inhale, I want you to start to arch from the thoracic spine, so try not to really overdo it in your lumbar spine. So lift up through the heart. Again, you can bring the head up if it feels okay in the neck. It doesn't always, so feel free to stay looking ahead, and then slide the shoulders down. So really breathe into your heart space. And now as you exhale, we're going to start to pull the belly into the spine. And we're going to start to send the spine the other way, so that you're trying to press the shoulders back behind you, a little bit like we did in turtle. So again, even though we're pressing into the shoulders, we're not bringing the shoulders up to the ears. Okay, and then we inhale, we're going to come back the other way. So open up through the heart, drop the shoulders down. Exhale, squeeze belly, chin to chest. Lovely. Inhale. To exhale. So we're going to do one more. Inhale it up. And exhale it back. Lovely. And then come up to seated. So from here, we're going to come out of this cross-leg position. So you just bring the bottom leg out from underneath you, swing the legs to the side, and we're going to come up into Balasana, child's pose. So if you have any sensitivity, arthritis, anything like that in the knees, please feel free to put something underneath the knees or behind the thighs as well. You can take the knees wide or keep them together, whatever's more comfortable for you. And then we're going to start to walk the hands forward again, nice and carefully, giving that stretch for the spine. And if you want to, forehead can rest onto your block. So once you've found the shape, closing the eyes and breathe. Try and spread the fingers nice and wide and start to press your hands into the mat like you're pushing the floor away from you, and that will give you some traction for the spine as you draw your tailbone down towards your heels. And then nice deep breaths. And just bringing awareness to the face. Make sure you're not tensing up through your jaw, scrunching up through the forehead. And again, just being careful not to go dead in the pose. So keep the breath really active. Feel the length happening in the spine, maybe some relaxation happening through the hips on those exhalations. And if you want to, you can soften the forearms down for the last few breaths. Maybe really feel the breath again into those rhomboid muscles between the shoulder blades. Two more breaths. Starting to lift up, bring your hands in, taking the block off to the side. Okay, from here we're going to just have a little shoulder opener, and then we're going to come down and do a seated forward fold, and then we're pretty much almost finished coming into Shavasana. So coming up onto the hands and the knees again, any support you need for the knees, please feel free, blankets or cushions or anything like that. So you're going to bring yourself into this position, heels in line with knees, knees stacked underneath the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. So we're going to pick the right hand up and we're going to thread the arm underneath. So it's called threading the needle, this pose, but I'd like you to do that without dipping into your pelvis. Okay, so try and keep your pelvis really in alignment. So scooping the belly in a little bit for that support, and then the right arm is going to come down. So we're aiming the back of the right shoulder all the way down onto the mat, and then the right cheek as well. From there we're going to take the left arm up. Okay, and then just notice if your pelvis is tilted, so you're probably going to need to bring the front of the left hip down. Okay, so you can either stay there, or if it feels okay to do so, and it doesn't always, depending on the neck, you can bring this left arm up and around and tuck the left fingertips into the top of the right thigh crease, if that feels okay. Don't worry if it doesn't. And then breathe. Two more breaths. And the left arm comes back down underneath, or in front of, the face, underneath the left shoulder. Press to the left hand and draw yourself back up. And just take a little rock back into child's pose in between. Give the hips a little bit of a rock. Okay, and then second side, so coming back into that position. Find your alignment. Keep the hips nice and stable over the knees. Keep the pelvis nice and supported. And then left arm is going underneath. So the left shoulder comes down, left cheek. Right arm comes up. Then bring the front of the right hip down now. And if you want to, you can bring that arm up and over and take it to the top of the left thigh crease. Try not to twist the hips. So a little bit of support still from the tummy, and ujjayi breaths. One more breath in. Exhale the right arm down. That right hand plants into the mat and brings you back. Okay, and then again, just a little bit of a rest in child's pose. Give the hips a little bit of a rock. Okay, so from here we're going to come up into a seated kneeling position so that you can transfer yourself into this shape. So we're taking the legs out long now. So I would recommend, even if you're used to this pose, I would get a yoga strap or a scarf or a tie. So when you're doing a more kind of relaxed practice, it's nice to take some of the effort or strain out of the forward folds. So legs are out long. We're going to flex the toes back towards us. So you'll notice if you're hyperextending through your legs because your heels will come off the floor. So it's really important to look out for that. And if that's happening, you soften the knees, even giving them a little bit of a wriggle or a shake. And sometimes I'll find, just to take that out, I will put a little blanket underneath the back of the knees or a cushion or something. So from here, we're going to grab whatever you're using, so yoga strap, tie, scarf, around the soles of the feet and start to draw that strap in towards you. So we want to sit up nice and tall. The spine is nice and long. The neck is nice and long. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, begin to extend yourself forward. So in Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold that we're doing here, it's really tempting to just yank the body forward. So you want to, again, it's back to that thing of balance between effort and ease. So just notice how you're holding on to your strap. So just keep a softness there. So there's an effort we're wanting to extend in the pose, particularly lengthening out through the lower back spine. We're obviously stretching through the hamstrings as well. But what we don't want is this, okay? So compression into the spine and the neck. We're hunching the shoulders up, and then we're probably overdoing it in the lower back spine. So shoulders are down the back. Spine is long. And your gaze is down at the legs. That will keep the spine and the neck nice and long as well. And Ujjayi breaths, as we've been doing all through the practice. So inhale, find some space. Exhale, find some length. We're going to take 2 more breaths. And then slowly start to bring yourself back up. Just sit there with that connection of the straps. So coming into Dandasana, staff pose. So shoulders down, lifting up through the crown of the head. Nice deep breaths. And then relax. So you're going to take your strap, disconnect it off, and just manoeuvring. I'm a bit OCD with my props, so I always have to wrap mine up before I come into Shavasana. So placing your prop off to the side, and then we're going to come down into corpse pose once again for final relaxation. So you can take any of those options from the start. You might want to bring a blanket to place over the body. So you can take the legs out long, as we did before, so tipping the feet away from each other. You can bring the feet together if you found that more comfortable, or feet wide, knees knocked together, and head down. Slightly tuck chin to chest. Make sure the shoulders are nice and relaxed, so give them a little bit of a wriggle. Closing the eyes. I just want you to start to allow the body to soften and let go. So start to feel the body becoming heavy on the mat. The mat coming up to support you, to hold you in place. Relaxing through the muscles of the face, through the jaw. Noticing if you're gripping through your fingers or your toes. Softening the belly once again on the inhales. Letting the breath completely release on the exhales. Just trying to bring yourself into as much stillness as possible. And then allow your mind to rest at that space between the eyebrows and the third eye space. And if you'd like to, you can focus on a soft purple coloured light across the forehead. Allowing that light to soothe the mind, soothe any thoughts. You might like to stay in Shavasana for a little bit longer. You might want to make this like a 10-minute resting session. So feel free to stay in Shavasana for as long as feels right for you. And if that's all you've got time for, just starting to bring the movements back to the body, wiggling through the fingers, the toes. And starting to bring the knees really carefully back in towards you. So just one at a time, really protect your lower back. And then rolling to the side, pausing there in the recovery position, bringing one hand down to give yourself the support from the earth. And then press into that hand, bring yourself up, and we're coming into Sukhasana once again. Okay, we'll sit with index finger and thumb pressed together, chin to chest, and just close your eyes once again. Drawing the mind, the awareness inwards, just staying connected and present to your breath and to this present moment. And just noticing any changes to how you feel compared to how you felt at the start. So maybe you feel a little bit more grounded, maybe you feel a little bit more relaxed or centered. Maybe the mind feels a little bit more calm and settled. And hopefully the body feels rested and stretched. Maybe even a little bit energized. So we'll bring the palms of the hands together now into Anjali Mudra. Just making a little dedication before we move off our mat to just take whatever feelings of positivity, of calm, of peace that you've created with your practice today. Let's take them into the rest of the day or the evening with us. So that our time on the mat then has that really positive effect on the things that we think, say and do. So let's take a big breath in. And as we exhale, we bow forward and we seal our practice for today. And we're coming back up when you're ready. And we are there. Okay, so thank you very, very much for practicing with me this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will endeavour to make more videos for you in the next few weeks. Okay, thank you so, so much. Namaste.